Welcome back to Casual Evil, where we delve deep into the chilling stories that expose the darkest corners of human nature. Today, we are delving into a tale of deception, desperation, and a deadly plan, all born from the heart of a Canadian suburban life. A crime so intricately woven with lies that it left a family shattered and a community grappling for answers. We're exploring how a young woman, seemingly trapped by the expectations of her family, orchestrated a deadly scheme that would forever scar the face of what we perceive as the average family. As we navigate through this unsettling narrative, we ask you to join us in contemplating the darker facets of human nature that can surface when ordinary people are pushed beyond their limits. Let's begin unraveling the dreadful tale of Jennifer Pan. Jennifer Pan was born on June 17, 1986, in Markham, Ontario, the eldest child of Vietnamese immigrants Bích Ha and Huey Han Tan. Her parents, like many immigrants, left their homeland seeking a better life in Canada. They were hardworking and wanted to provide the best opportunities for Jennifer and her younger brother. They valued education highly and had great expectations for their children's future. The Pans were what you might call a tiger family. Jennifer was pushed to excel academically, her parents dreaming of her becoming a doctor or a pharmacist. She was expected to study hard, achieve high grades, and avoid distractions like parties or boyfriends. Jennifer's life was rigorously scheduled, with her time divided between school and piano lessons. But beneath this veneer of a perfect family life, Jennifer was struggling. The weight of her parents' expectations began to bear heavily on her. She didn't share their dreams for her future, and the constant pressure led her to create a double life. Jennifer began to spin a web of deception. She forged report cards, pretended to attend university, and even staged a fake graduation photo. She created an entire phantom life to keep her parents' dreams intact. Meanwhile, she worked at a restaurant and began a secret relationship with a young man named Daniel Wong. As the years passed, the lies piled up. With each passing day, Jennifer's double life became more elaborate and more precarious. The illusion was difficult to maintain, and the walls were closing in. Around the age of 24, Jennifer's fantasy world began to crumble. Her parents discovered her lies about university and her clandestine relationship with Daniel. In response, they enacted what Jennifer perceived as a draconian punishment: a curfew, no contact with Daniel, and a strict focus on finding a career path. Jennifer felt trapped. Her future was being dictated by her parents, her freedom stripped away, and so she began to contemplate a desperate and horrifying plan. If her parents were no longer in the picture, she would be free to live as she pleased, and she would also inherit their estate, valued at nearly $1 million. Going from lying about her report card to planning her parents' murder was a disturbing leap. However, Jennifer's desperation led her down this dark path. She confided in Daniel, who in turn introduced her to his friends Lanford Crawford and David Milvaganam. These two individuals, who had a history of criminal activities, were hired to execute a deadly home invasion. Jennifer's plan was coming together, and the people who loved and trusted her most were in the crosshairs. Jennifer's double life was about to take a lethal turn, a move that she hoped would finally grant her the freedom she desired. Jennifer's lethal scheme was put into action on the evening of November 8, 2010. She unlocked the front door of her home, providing access to the hired hitman. She returned to her room, awaiting the sequence of events she had meticulously orchestrated. Around 10 p.m., the quiet suburban house was shattered by the sound of intruders. Jennifer's mother, Bích Ha, and her father, Huey Han, were dragged from their bedroom and held at gunpoint in the basement. Jennifer was tied up in her room, left to listen to the events unfolding. The home invaders demanded money and valuables. They gathered whatever they could find. But this was all part of the carefully constructed ruse. Their real mission was much more sinister. In the basement, gunshots echoed. Jennifer's mother was shot multiple times and died on the spot. Her father was critically injured. Upstairs, Jennifer made a frantic 911 call, maintaining her role as a victim in this violent attack. It was a terrifying crime in a quiet suburban neighborhood, a crime that left a woman dead, a man critically injured, and a community terrified. Little did they know, the orchestrator of this horrifying act was the very person they would least suspect. When word of the home invasion began to circulate, the police wasted no time in responding. Initially, Jennifer portrayed herself as a distraught daughter and a terrified victim. She gave a detailed account of the frightening events, describing the intruders, their demands, and her own helplessness. However, as the police dug deeper into the case, certain elements started to raise concerns. There were inconsistencies in Jennifer's story, unexplained details that didn't add up. And then there was her father, Hui Han. Despite his critical injuries, Hui Han survived. He woke up from a coma in the hospital and told a story that differed greatly from Jennifer's. He remembered seeing Jennifer speaking with the intruders as if they were acquaintances. She was unharmed, free of restraints. The discovery of this vital information completely upended the investigation. The police began to look at Jennifer not as a victim, but as a possible suspect. Further investigation into her phone records, her computer, and her relationships revealed the truth about her double life. The police discovered her lies about university, her secret relationship, and finally her involvement in the planned murder of her parents. On November 22, 2010, Jennifer Penn was arrested. This is a tragic illustration of how pressures and expectations can drive an individual to desperate measures. She felt trapped in a life that was not her own, burdened by expectations she believed she could not meet. Her desperation to escape this pressure eventually pushed her down a path of deception and ultimately violence. Her actions stemmed from the psychological strain of leading a double life, the fear of letting her parents down, and an intense longing for liberation. The lengths she went to maintain her deceptive facade show a deep-seated fear of facing her reality and the consequences of her actions. While nothing can justify the murder of her parents, Jennifer's case provides a dark look into the psychological toll family and societal pressures can have on an individual's mental health. It's a stark reminder of how dire circumstances can emerge from such pressures if they are left unchecked. On March 19, 2014, almost 4 years after the crime, Jennifer Penn's trial began. She stood in the dock not as a victim, but as an accused mastermind behind a horrific plot that ended in the death of her own mother and near death of her father. The evidence was damning. Text messages exchanged between Jennifer and her boyfriend, the testimonies of the hitmen, and most impactfully, the evidence provided by her own father painted a clear picture of Jennifer's dark plan. During the trial, the community watched in shock and disbelief. How could a young woman, seemingly normal and from a respectable family, plot the murder of her own parents? It was a crime that shattered the image of the innocent, high-achieving Jennifer. On December 13, 2014, the jury found Jennifer Penn, her boyfriend Daniel Wong, and the hired hitmen Lanford Crawford and David Milvaganam guilty of first-degree murder and attempted murder. They were sentenced to life imprisonment with no chance of parole for 25 years. Jennifer Penn's story is a chilling tale of deception, desperation, and the darkest depth to which ordinary people can sink. It serves as a heartbreaking reminder of the potential consequences when the weight of expectations becomes too heavy to bear. Jennifer's case rocked the community, leaving a scar that would serve as a lasting reminder of the tragedy that unfolded on that November night in 2010. It's a story that shook our understanding of what it means to be a family and how we perceive the struggles of the young people around us. From her strict upbringing to her double life, Jennifer's actions were an extreme cry for freedom. Her story is a dark testament to the importance of open dialogue within families, the necessity of understanding and compromise, and the devastation that can occur when these factors are absent. Join us next time on Casual Evil as we continue to explore the depth of human nature and the seemingly ordinary individuals who are capable of committing the unimaginable. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more true crime stories that reveal the dark side of human nature. Until next time, stay safe and keep seeking the truth.